This next video looks at indicia and index notation, and it starts to look at how we multiply and divide them. So first of all then, what are indicia? Well, we have actually looked at them and how many times to multiply one by the base number. Now if you've forgotten, it was basically when what we said were powers. So for instance, when we had 6 to the power of 3, we're multiplying 1 by 6 3 times. 1 times 6 times 6 times 6. But we often write this as just simply 6 times 6 times 6. Square numbers, cube numbers, they're all indicia. If you remember as well from one of the earlier videos, we heard about indicia when we talked about that how to find the order of the operators in BIDMAS. If you can't remember or haven't seen the video on BIDMAS, have a look at it. But the I in BIDMAS stood for indicia. So when you are trying to work out a particular sum, you did the brackets first because BIDMAS starts with a B, and then you did the indicia, the powers, second because it represented the I, or the I represented it, sorry. So an indicia is how many times we multiply 1 by the base number, and the base number is the number that we are multiplying to the power of. So we've got the base number down here, and we've got the power up here. The power is either known as the index or the exponent. So you might hear of several different ways of it being called. Some people refer to the power. In this case, we're referring to the index. Plural of them. So if you had several of these, they're indicia, hence the use of the word indicia. So let's have a look at how we multiply indicia. Well, firstly, we look at what happens if the bases are different. So in these two indicia, the bases are 6 and 2, they're different, but the powers are the same. So the first one is 6 to the power of 3, and the second one is 2 to the power of 3. So that's the rule we are going to look at here, is the bases can be different, but the powers have to be the same. All we've got to do in this case is multiply the two bases, 6 times 2, and keep the power the same. So 6 times 2, or 6 to the power of 3, sorry, times 2 to the power of 3 is 12 to the power of 3. And I can do that because the powers were the same, even though the bases were different. So what happens then if we're dividing? Well, in this case, we've got 6 to the power of 4 divided by 2 to the power of 4. But exactly the same again. The bases are different, but the powers are the same. So all I've got to do is do 6 divided by 2, all to the power of 4, which gives us 3 to the power of 4. Remember as well that division sometimes is written so like with one number over the other, like in a fraction. So we might have had 6 to the power of 4 over 2 to the power of 4, but we're doing the same thing. It's simply 6 divided by 2 and keep the power the same.